Hey, Brett. So have you had experience hiring anybody that does have like a basic medical degree, like a medical assistant or a CNA, and have you seen a benefit of having that as either, from their results as a
Mhm.
employee or just, telling people that you have somebody with those qualifications?
Yes. So we have not hired a nurse or um, CNA is I don't think it's very long to get it. I've not gotten it myself. I'm pretty sure you can get your CNA in a weekend or a couple weekends. Um, you can correct me if I'm
Correct.
mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, those the ones that are like basic nurse assistants, basically.
hmm Okay. So again, it's not a huge like you don't have your master's or something, right? Anybody can get that kind of stuff. It's not a big deal. I haven't seen a huge value in that, but there is a big value. Big's a relative term. Good value in having someone who is a full time nurse as your manager. Um, I think that's a great selling point. I also think that there's can be a lot of value that they bring in, but it's not necessary. We've never hired a nurse. But honestly, like we have nurses and doctors in our building 5 times a day, right? Like they're talking to us about our residents and our grandmas like all the time. I don't think it is necessary in any means, but it is an advantage. Peggy?
Do you, when the nurses and doctors visit, who pays for that?
It is
How is
all
that?
running through their insurance. So the
Okay, so
doctors are
you're
billing the
not paying for
insurance and
that service.
no, no, we have zero
Okay.
medical people on our payroll. It's exclusively only three categories. It's the manager, the caregivers, and the chef. That is it. There is no medical thing on our insurance, on our staffing, anything like that.
So let's say, like the lady we're looking to hire as our director has
Mhm.
experience in a 16 unit before in another state and loved it.
Okay.
And so she's currently in school to get her RN. So she probably will have completed that by the time our building is complete.
Sure.
Um, so we would pay her as a manager, but then if she wanted to do all the nursing side of it too, then she could get paid from that resident's Medicare insurance. So
I don't believe so.
no. But you said the person's insurance is covered the nurse
Mhm.
and the doctor. So if she was the
Sure.
nurse, how would that
She'd
work?
have to be full time employed by someone paying, right? Like, for example, the hospice company that usually run two different hospice companies. They will have a handful of, well, really kind of one or two main nurses. That's your go to people, and they're coming in every single day. That's who I'm referring to. It is the hospice company who is paying salary to these nurses to do that. The other medical professional that comes in is our doctor. And so we usually have two doctors that we have options for, and we highly encourage, um, kind of mandate unofficially, that you have to use our house doctor. And we use two because we specifically pick people who will cover all insurance types. But it's the doctor will come in almost every week. And when I say the doctor, I don't mean the actual doctor. They will send their physician's assistant once a week and do all of that stuff. So between hospice and the doctor coming in, I mean, pretty much every day. None of those people are on our salary, but we have the advantage of we're literally meeting with them every time they see a resident. Hey, anything new? No, cool. Oh yes, let's little meeting here. Okay, we can adjust the care plan as needed. Um, for your manager, if you wanted to have additional income from her, honestly, I don't know if I would. I think that would be kind of a conflict. There are people who pay outside service nurses to come in and do their medication management. And perhaps it's once a week, or more commonly, it's like once a month. They'll come to do a med cart audit. They may just make sure all your stuff is in line. They may do your med delegation training for your staff. Um, if you wanted more in depth, then they would be coming in once or twice a week doing all your medication ordering. Honestly, that stuff is all done by our managers, and our managers teach our caregivers, our med techs, to do those things. We spend $0 on any of that kind of stuff. And the med delegation is done by our hospice nurse. They will come in and train our staff once a month. So I don't see a need. I'm not saying you can't do it. I just don't see a need for additional expenses in that place.